Welcome back.
Hang on.
Pitch. What?
Hang on, Billy. Before you start, I feel like we have to play a little ad, a little clip here. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
LFGM. Let's go.
Okay.
I feel like we have to play that because of what just went down. This is an emergency fucking podcast of the highest degree, and I'm nervous.
Nervous?
Welcome back to Take a Pitch.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
For what?
What are you
The
nervous
Mets.
about?
All right. Well, Mets got Lindor. Let's just say that right there.
Yep. Mets
got
traded
Lindor
for
and
Francisco Lindor.
Yep. And I'm nervous because the Mets get shiny new toys, right? And Cano, he had a good year, but
Oh,
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Edwin Diaz, he was a shiny new toy.
Okay.
A shit first year. Yes, he bounced back last year. I'm excited to see if he continues that bounce back and that progression going forward. But the Mets shiny new toys don't always work out. Jason Bay, Granderson was a good one, but yeah.
You're talking about totally different caliber of players here.
I understand that. I understand that.
Saying, dude.
Yeah.
I understand that. But
We're talking about. No, hold on. We're talking about Francisco Lindor.
I know.
Far and away the best shortstop in the MLB. He is a 5-tool player.
Yeah.
He brings every dynamic to a ball club.
He's a franchise player, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And
right.
So here's the thing: the Mets also traded away Amed Rosario and Andres Gimenez, right? Top two shortstops, the only two that are even remotely close to the MLB. Next would be probably Brian Mauricio, who is at least a couple of years away. He's not going to be a shortstop though.
He's an A-ball,
Let's just be honest. I think he may. Yeah, I think he was at high A ball in
18 years old? 19.
He's got to be 19 or 20 now. I think he's 19.
Marciano.
But, so all this says to everybody right now is the Mets are signing him next offseason.
Right. I mean, Mike had said something before we jumped on that there's a verbal extension in place.
That's what I saw in one of my group chats that somebody saw that there was a verbal. I haven't seen anything, but
I mean, it makes sense. Like, you can't. That was the biggest thing, dude. You can't trade for him and then not sign him after. Just like with all the shortstops going into the market, next free agent, he doesn't want to be in that. You don't want to compete with that either.
Yeah.
As a player.
Lindor has the third most extra base hits since 2017, and going into Citi Field, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you compare him to Cano, horrible analogy. Cano's fucking 70 years old.
I know.
Edwin Diaz has had one stellar year prior to that and 2 good years. Little bit different. Francisco Lindor has been good every single year since he came up in 2015.
Right. I mean,
here's my Jason Bay, another guy. He had 1 good year. You know, you're talking about a bunch of guys who had these 1 really stellar years that the Mets bought in on, but we're looking, I'd say, a better comparison to a Mets signing. It would be Carlos Beltran, a guy who had been established and had been doing it for years and years, and now the Mets go after him.
Now, just before we continue and go deeper into this, let's just talk about the full trade. It was Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco.
Huge.
For Rosario, Gimenez, Josh Wolf, and Isaiah Green, who was a second-round supplemental pick.
Yes.
An outfielder.
Yep.
And Steve Gelb said it best. The fact that the Mets were able to the fact that the Mets were able to trade for Lindor and Carrasco without parting with Mauricio, Alvarez, Beatty, Allen, or Pete Crow Armstrong is something else.
Kinda.
Granted, that's the extent of their farm system.
I mean,
the Indians got fleeced, bro. They did, dude. They did. They didn't get a top 100 prospect for.
The Mets barely have a top 100 prospect.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. The best shortstop in the game and an extremely established starting pitcher, and they gave up. And Rosario, in my opinion, is garbage. I don't think he's a good player. And then Gimenez, okay, he's good, right? The other two, you don't know.
So in my opinion, I still think Amed Rosario has a super high ceiling. I know he doesn't walk a lot. We don't like that here, but we know that he can be at least average defensively. He has a cannon arm. He has insane wheels. He's got some nice power for a shortstop. I think Amed Rosario will probably do much better in an organization like the Indians. Andres Gimenez, same thing. I think there'll be a nice, I think that'll be a nice 3 to have for the Indians. Jose Ramirez, Rosario, and Gimenez. Now they have 3 lockdown guys at, 2 needed positions now that Lindor is gone. They got a shortstop and a second baseman.
I mean, the Indians only have, I think, 3 players under contract for after this season.
Mm-hmm.
Their payroll going into the season is $40 million as of right now.
Yeah, lowest in the MLB.
So they just shed half their payroll.
Yeah.
By the way, me and Mike were completely right on the Josh Wolf.
And
Just
Rosario.
putting it out there. And Rosario.
I had Rosario in there too, just saying.
Hey, that's what happens when you miss a podcast. You can't talk about what you had.
I was here. What are you talking about?
In spirit.
But yeah, as I'm a Mets, Jets, Knicks, and Rangers fan, my team's conditioned me to be nervous about this shit. I'm conditioned to be scared and nervous.
It's different. It's different.
Right, it's different. This is different, but I'm still a little nervous.
It's
I mean,
different.
you could be nervous. I
No,
mean,
of
you never
course.
know, right? It's like what happened with Stanton and the Yankees. It's not really panning out at the time.
I mean,
Right,
he
he
was,
also gave up literally a fucking
Gave up
bucket
Starlin
of
Castro
baseballs.
for a MVP in 2017. That's what I was getting at before.
But
It's exciting for the Mets, bro.
Mhm.
For you guys, I'm happy for Billy because I like Billy.
hey
Thank
Macca,
you,
hey
thank
Macca, you're fired.
Shit.
Now you're hired again.
Damn it.
Promoted to number 2 too.
Yeah, that's what
While
I
we're
thought.
at it.
Yeah, no problem.
But
Yeah.
I just and we said this came out of nowhere.
It did.
Did it come out of nowhere?
Like
I
we
guess
were
not,
talking
yeah.
about that. It was a fit. We had a feeling that the Mets were going to be in on him, but we didn't know when it was going to happen, what was going to we were talking, before we got on. It was 35 minutes from Jeff Passan's first tweet about breaking the story to the teams announcing it. Has to be the quickest since God knows when.
Yeah.
35 minutes.
But also, I don't know. I feel like it's really not that surprising. The fit is there for both sides. They want, that's what the Indians do. They bring in, they're the same as the Mariners and not the Mariners, but they're that middle pack team that doesn't commit to either way.
Right,
Except
the teams
for
we talked about it.
2016 and 2017 is when they committed to winning. That was it. But I don't know. I think that I think that it was I saw it coming to an extent. I didn't predict it, but we weren't making these mock trades for nothing. I said that the Brewers were the only one that were out of the question. Is it a fit? Yeah, it's a fit. But
Would it have been cool to see? Yes.
But my other ones with the Mets and the Dodgers, I actually saw those happening.
Yeah.
All right.
And those are the 2 teams that I saw him going to if he was going to be going anywhere. Plus, add in that the Indians had said they wanted the Mets to be involved. Since
Right.
fucking day one.
Which is really interesting to me. Like what? Like who does that? What team does that? We want the Mets to be involved. Like,
Well, their scouts also saw somebody they liked.
it had to be something with Wolf and or
Yeah.
They were
Wolf-
in on
Wolf was gonna be
Wolf
good.
in the draft.
They were,
That was the thing. They wanted Wolf.
Yes, they
That
must have
kid's
saw
gonna
something
be
they
good.
liked.
He's going to be really good. He
him and
is.
Tristan McKenzie down the road with Bieber maybe.
He's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid was just drafted. He's got another 4 or 5 years.
True. But if they
but
can keep
regardless-
those 3 together, yeah.
He's going to be stellar. That kid is going to be really good.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something interesting.
Actually, I do have one request.
Yes.
Do you have a shade or something to get that
I
glare off?
don't.
You
I
look
really
you look
don't.
like an angel coming from the fucking heavens.
Hey, listen, I'm just that fucking good,
Yeah,
Better.
All right,
Yeah.
that's better.
I know my fucking. I don't have. Yeah, I know.
This is fine. This is better.
It's better. It's better we don't see me. Let's be real.
Fair enough.
the big thing for me here was the inclusion of Carrasco in this deal.
It's
Mhm.
huge.
To me,
Huge,
that signals that the Mets are out on Bauer. They're not even going to pursue him.
They shouldn't.
Which is,
Mhm.
I mean, first off, they pursue Bauer. What the fuck is this rotation?
Good point.
Because we're looking at DeGrom,
Stroman,
Stroman,
Carrasco.
Carrasco, Syndergaard. Like in some sort
And
of
then
order of that.
Syndergaard went.
Well,
Right.
It's
Back.
Matz and Oswald, and then maybe
Oh, well, Oswald's gone,
who's
I
the
thought.
6'7" guy? Who's the 6'7" guy they just signed? With the spin rate guy. McKinney or something.
Oh.
McKenzie.
Sam McWilliams
Yes.
Williams?
Yeah, McWilliams. Yeah.
from the Rays.
Yeah.
I'd rather Wilmer Font at this point than any of those names that you just said.
Well, we because Syndergaard's not gonna be back until at least
Yeah.
July, so it's like we got to fill that 5.
Yeah, I was hearing June, but listen, Peterson,
Yeah,
Matz.
but they just
at
said
worst.
like a month ago.
Did
mean,
you see the report yesterday that they're gonna go see Kluber and Paxton both pitch too?
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna go watch them both throw.
Can I say something here? Is it not concerning the Cubs barely gave or the Padres barely gave up anything for Darvish, right? And now the Mets barely gave up a lot in like prospect capital for Lindor and Carrasco. Like, what are the other teams doing? Like, as a Yankee fan, it's kind of like unsettling knowing that the Yankees could have had Lindor and Carrasco for, like, you tell me that they didn't have enough prospects to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have easily got rid of I don't know. I don't want to name specific players because I don't know exactly. Like
Yeah.
Florial, I don't know, Frazier back to the Indians. I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Just seems weird to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a point, but at the same
I have
time,
a counter.
yeah, Mike.
So the Mookie Bet, if we get rid of the Dodgers part of the Mookie Betts trade, the Red Sox got fleeced.
100%. Everybody knows this.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too because you're literally giving up face of the franchise like players.
They gave up probably the best player at the position, if we're considering him a right fielder, not an outfielder as a general. You're giving up David Price, who didn't pitch last year, but was a good pitcher on the downslope of their career. And they did get Verdugo, and they did get Jeter down to it, who was a rated prospect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of the same thing. At least in the Mets case, they gave up 2 of their top 10 prospects and 2 MLB ready players.
Yeah, but top 10
Former
prospects
top 10
in their
prospects.
system, bro.
Former.
That isn't even a good system. Like,
I mean,
It's better than
but-
Cleveland's.
But you could also put it into perspective. I know perspective that I know everyone is hating on Rosario, but he was the number 1 prospect at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but
As
was
is Jimenez.
Yeah,
As is Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez
Jimenez
makes
was
sense.
not.
to me.
No,
He
I'm
makes
talking about MLB. Rosario.
Oh,
at the end of-
yeah.
Before he got called up, he was the number 1 prospect in the MLB.
Which is hilarious in hindsight.
I don't know. To me that's different because we're talking a few years ago. Like we're talking
Yes.
right
But
now.
I'm saying, you know, the potential is there. He was rated there for a reason.
Yeah, that's why it's weird to me. Like other teams have had better players to give up. Like
Mhm.
especially I guess
Dodgers.
maybe the Dodgers just. I mean, I don't want to say they didn't want him because who the fuck wouldn't want
Yeah.
Lindor, you know? But or even the Yankees, like they had more major league ready guys that have kind of
They had more,
proven.
they had more to give. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's just weird, right?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Listen,
Great
I
for them.
mean,
It's just weird. to
yeah,
me.
you're not complaining, but like the rest of the Yankees Twitter is and everything.
Yeah, you want me to get this? Yeah. Dude,
Hey,
oh my-
yeah, go right into it, man.
Oh,
Dude,
I'd love to hear this.
I don't want to make it about the Yankees, but they're all fucking annoying, bro. Like they don't understand that like they're not gonna be spending. Like it's not happening. So everybody's like, oh, why didn't we get this? Sign DJ, like sign a pitcher. Steinbrenner's here. We would have had Bauer and LeMahieu already. Like, bro, I don't want to hear. I don't want anything to do with Trevor Bauer. Hate to break it to you, but I just don't. And then they've said a million times they lost money and they're not going to be doing a lot. That's my piece in the
I gotta be honest, Mac's rant before we recorded was a lot better.
I don't even remember what I said, honestly. It had to have been similar, no?
No, you said the Yankee fans are fucking idiots.
They are.
And
they are.
and none of them have their heads on straight, and it's embarrassing to be associated with them.
Well, I follow a lot of like Yankee people on Twitter, right? And it's just like that's all you saw when the Lindor trade happened. Like,
yeah, I mean, John Boy, who is a big Yankee fan, is excited.
But he's rational.
He's a baseball guy. Yeah, he's a baseball.
Very rational. He should be excited because it's good. It's good and bad for baseball.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then let me ask you this, because I actually left the voicemail on for Tri-State Sports Beat 2 weeks ago when the Padres are making their moves. What do the Mets have to do to compete with the Padres? I think we just answered that question.
You can argue the Mets are second best team in baseball right now on paper.
Billy just
get that out of here.
I'm sorry, you just
we're number. I'll take number 11, 12. I'm cool with that. Not top 10.
No. It's the exact opposite as the Yankee fan. The Yankees just dropped down to like 7, and now the Mets are probably. I would probably go Dodgers, Mets, Padres, Braves, Yankees, something like that. Just, I'm sorry, I hate to hear it as a Met fan, but it's just they're mad good on paper, dude.
They are very good on paper. That bullpen is very good. And I know that they were in talks with Liam Hendricks. We'll see what happens with him. But man, if they get him too, I know our bullpen does not like to show up when. But the Mets always have a pretty damn nice bullpen on paper. Over the past few years.
Can I add to this Carrasco thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue to the Carrasco thing. It's sneaky because now it pretty much solidifies that they will not be moving Seth Lugo to the starting rotation.
Thank God.
Which
that's good.
I know Billy's in love with.
In check.
100%. It's keep your man check.
It just makes the Mets
we just
such
wanted
a
a
better
great
team.
backup for Luis Guillorme.
You guys love him, huh?
Max does. He's going to get his jersey.
He had my heart when he caught that bat flying straight at his head during spring training.
No, it was a tweet that I saw. Great tweet. But yeah, no, as Mike said, this is just all but ensuring that bullpen is even more dominant with Lugo there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a trade that fills multiple needs with just 2 players.
Yeah.
It gives the Mets dynamic.
I was just gonna say I was surprised when I saw the texts and it said Carrasco was in the deal too.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh yeah. I was blown up our group chat.
For me. That was big. That was a bigger surprise that he was involved than even getting Lindor. Like it wasn't that big of a surprise, I was happy.
You weren't talking much about Carrasco at all being even moved.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reports of that. That being said, one of our Twitter followers had noted that, Carrasco has the stuff to be a Cy Young candidate. He's got good stuff.
Yeah.
Has he ever
great pitchers?
Yeah. Has he ever put it together to do that? Not exactly to that extent.
But he's close.
Got the stuff. Yeah. He's got the stuff.
Yeah, but he's a great number 3 starter, bro. That adds depth to a rotation.
Yeah.
That's really all the Mets kind of needed. Would it have been nice to have Bauer? Yeah, but you're gonna overpay for him, right? And then there's really not that many other starting pitchers on the market. You could take a chance with Kluber and Paxton, but why?
Odorizzi's still there too.
Yeah, but I would take Carrasco over all 3 of them.
I think Odorizzi.
100%.
What, Max?
I think Odorizzi is just slightly overrated.
A little bit.
I don't think he's shown
and
to be
underrated.
Enough.
What hasn't he shown you? He's been consistent.
Really? I thought he had a shit year. I mean, yeah, he was only 11 starts, so I think he had a shit year last year.
Sure doesn't count.
If you put any weight on the 2020 season,
I
get
understand.
get off of my podcast right now.
I'm just saying, you gotta wonder what that does. Who puts weight into that? Does
Nobody.
analytics and stuff like that?
Stupid. No.
Well, listen,
It
you
was
can't
spring
completely
training.
forget it, but it's like,
Extended spring training.
well, like I would put like 15% stock into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At best.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's like looking at Stroman, dude. Like he didn't fucking pitch all 2020.
I know.
He can come
yeah.
back. He could be even worse, or he could be better. Like you don't fucking know. Same thing with
Yeah,
any
well,
like Paxton, Kluber. You don't fucking know.
Mhm.
Price.
Exactly.
Yeah, Price.
Pitching from year to year is so erratic. Except for those
Yeah.
top guys, you never know.
Right.
I mean, if anything, taking a break from pitching is, you could argue, is better than hitting. You know,
hmm
probably better to rest up at
Better.
some points.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players after the season, they'll take at least a month or two off from even throwing at all. I used to do that. I used to take off a month entirely. Okay, he had one bad year, Max, which was last year in 4 games.
Oh, you only pitched 4 games?
Yes. And pretty much the rest of his career was relatively the same.
Okay.
Like a
mid to high
mid-3,
3s, low 4s. Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a.
That was
Number
also in Tampa when they
That's
sucked.
nice. Yeah.
Right. No, that's good. That's a good piece to have. Yeah.
And he was very nice with Minnesota in 2019.
Right.
Great year with Minnesota.
Somebody just wrote this in my message. Diaz, Sandy traded.
That's tough.
Oh, jeez, Mike.
Gotta love it. I know, I realized. Okay, so Brody traded Sandy's picks for Cano and Diaz. Sandy traded Brody's picks for Lindor and Carrasco.
All that says to me is Brody did a damn good job drafting.
Yeah. Brody did
About it,
do a
though.
really good job drafting. You can't deny that. Did he?
No,
was
his
he
drafting
great
was good.
for? Was he good for? He was great for negotiations too.
He's a lawyer.
I mean,
he's a lawyer.
You're talking about, yeah. You're talking about exactly. So, yeah. That's really like he sucked on the major league level.
He got Matt Allen in the 3rd round and signed him.
Yeah.
First round
That kid's
prospect.
not going nowhere. Yeah, his draft stock was top 10. I mean, kid's good. He's gonna be good. He's not going anywhere.
So let's rate this trade. Overall, looking at it from a Mets perspective.
10.
Let's give it yeah. I was about to say let's give it a grade, but
Is there any number high? Is there a high
11
number?
out of 10. 11 out of 10.
And from an Indians perspective, because obviously it's a fantastic trade from a Mets perspective.
So
From an Indians
it's
perspective,
hard.
it's interesting because
6.5.
you did shed the payroll that they wanted to. They
Yeah.
got 2 major league players in this when a lot of the talk was that they're going to be loaded on prospects and help the system, and they were finally going to commit to the whole rebuild. It's a very interesting purgatory they're in
Never
right now.
gonna happen.
No. So let's give it a grade.
Backer, you can go first. You seem very sure
Okay.
about your number.
Mets 11 out of 10. Indians 6.5. Anybody disagree with that or what?
I don't. I do agree, but I think that you kind of have to give the Indians 2 different numbers, really. For what they're getting right now, 6.5 is perfect. But for potential, if these guys do become what they can become and what they were projected to become, you give it an 8.5.
Because Green was supposed to be projected to be like a Michael Brantley type guy.
Who?
Isaiah Green.
Yeah, but this is the thing with
I thought,
prospects, bro.
I thought he was super fast.
From everything I've read, he's projected.
Michael Brantley is slower than Wilson Ramos.
I'm talking
about-
hitting wise.
It's a big comparison to make. Brantley's
is.
a
a big
very
comparison to make
professional hitter.
for an 18-year-old. But regardless, I think the potential is there for all 4 of them. I think Josh Wolf he might surprise us and be the next big thing when he comes up. Who knows? You know what you're getting out of Andres Gimenez. He's the only one that you know what you are getting out of him. And
yeah, he's the most exciting piece.
Yeah. I mean, the kid's got insane wheels. He drives the ball into the gaps. He runs. He has insane glove. So
he was an exciting part of last year for the Mets. Watching him kind of take those steps. Yes, it was in a weird season, but he shows he could hit some of the better pitchers in the game.
He had like a 1.1 WAR, right? Like 40-something games.
Yeah, and he as part-time guy, yeah.
Yeah, and he's versatile.
Yep, versatile. He play all three infield.
That's like their whole infield though. Like it's like him and Jose Ramirez. I'm not gonna say they're the same player, but they're like the same skill set.
Yeah,
except Jimenez is a little faster.
Yeah,
and Jose is a little more beefy.
Yeah, you
trade off power with speed.
Right.
Exactly.
They both can play pretty much everywhere in the infield. They both have really good gloves, good arms.
Jose Ramirez looks like the fat kid on your team that, everyone...
It's his face, dude. It's so deceiving. It's
really
like round as fuck. And he's got them cheeks, bro. The guy can move,
So, Mike, what do you got on a grade for this from the Indians' perspective?
I agree with Billy completely. Like, you got to see what the two prospects down the line become. Like, that's what it is. We know what they're getting in Rosario, and we know what we're getting in Jimenez. Can Wolf become what we think he's going to be, as well as Isaiah Green? Like, for Mets, obviously, it's what we needed, what we wanted. And I was... From the start of this, Mets are going to trade for him. I didn't want it from the beginning because I thought it was going to be much, much worse.
Yeah, you and I were in the same boat there, yeah.
I thought it was going to be so much worse, but I'm actually happy with what they ended up giving up.
Yeah.
So Mike and I actually know an Indians fan. Oh, go ahead, Maka.
I just wanted to touch on this whole prospect thing because I wasn't here last week to defend myself on the Dominguez thing. See, this is my biggest.
Come on.
It's not about the Dominguez though. It ties into what Mike and Billy were saying, where you want to see how the prospects develop in 4 years, right? But if you're the Mets and you're in win now mode, right? Who the fuck cares about prospects, bro? You got Lindor. You're doing it now. That's what I was trying to.
Exactly.
That's what I would have said with Dominguez, bro. Like he might not get into the major leagues for 4 years. It might not even develop for another 6 because he's 17, right? So you take that trade-off of getting rid of him and bringing in a guy like Lindor, right? Because you're in win now mode. You want to win fucking now, not in 6 years when Garrett Cole's 37 and Judge is 35 and shit like that.
Yeah. The only way that Dominguez is going to make it up before 4 years if they send him to the Nationals, they'll have him up at 19. They love to do that.
He's not going to be up till he's like 22, 23. Like especially now with the minor league.
Even then, he's going to be insane.
That's true.
Yeah, but you don't know that though. You don't.
Right.
You don't.
Look at Eston Florial, bro. He was Yankees' top prospect for a while. Guy can't hit shit. Guy swings and misses at everything.
Yeah.
Prospects risky to bank on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're not especially if they're not rated in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's my piece.
Anyway, back to what I was about to say is that Mike and I actually know an Indians fan who he's struggling with this right now.
It's the kid with the jersey collection?
Yeah.
Yes.
Our friend Jason.
So you said he was a fan of both.
He is a fan of both, but he's in the middle of both. He supports both,
But he's a bigger Indians fan.
And he's a
bigger.
And he's a baseball fan.
Yes.
Wait, he's got 2 teams.
So he's in the middle of the Cleveland and
in
the
Ohio.
Cincinnati
What do you expect
market.
from Ohio?
So he lives right in the middle of both. It's the middle of the country. It's
okay,
different.
you pick one team and then you root for him.
Right, he picked the Indians.
Yeah,
but he does not hate the other Ohio team because it's not like New York.
Disgusting.
So he says this is typical Ohio sports. Happens every time. Lindor will thrive in New York. His biggest plays happen when the spotlight's on him. From 2016-17, there were a lot of special moments in Cleveland, and Lindor was a huge reason for that. There will never be equal value for Lindor. We could have gotten Chris Bryant or another superstar in the deal, and it would never have been enough. Continue to field a minor league outfield, and these 4 guys will get their 4 years in Cleveland. They'll be traded for more prospects later on when we can't afford them. So I said, you're not excited about any of them? He goes, not in the slightest. Lindor meant more to the city than the team did. Which I can definitely say. Lindor, it was the heartbeat of that Cleveland. LeBron left. All they had left was Lindor. And that.
Yeah, Mr. Smile.
Yeah.
They got Jose Ramirez and Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're looking at those guys compared to Lindor.
You could argue Ramirez has been better than Lindor.
Yeah.
He has been.
He's been MVP candidate.
Top MVP candidate a couple times.
If you put your heart out on your sleeve. Oh, yeah. I'm reading another text from him.
Besides 2019, the first half of 2019, really, Jose Ramirez has been an MVP caliber player every year since the beginning of 2016. Yeah. The versatility, everything that he does, he's tools all over the place. Go on, let's read.
Right, I was going to say it's a little bit. It's a little bit bigger than just on-field things too. He says, if you put your heart out on your sleeve and defend the state, no matter how short your career or how bad things got on the field, you're considered a legend and hailed as one of our own in Ohio.
Okay.
It seems like it's bigger than just the baseball aspect of it out in Cleveland.
I mean, it's bad for baseball, but it's also good for baseball. Same thing with Mookie Betts, right?
So wait, let me ask you, why is it bad for baseball?
Because you have another team that's just trading away their face of the franchise superstar player to shed money when they should be embracing them and signing. It's like even the Red Sox did it, dude, and they're a big market team. It's a bad look for the organization.
I can understand what you're saying.
I agree.
It's the same thing with Blake Snell. He was the face of their franchise for the last few years, and now he's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that.
It's been a common trend over the past few years to do this.
Go back to as far as Pittsburgh with McCutchen.
Yeah, that was a rough trade too.
Kinda. I mean, he was in his 30s on the downhill. He was not playing well. He did not want to not play center field there.
Stanton.
Yep. I mean, fucking Marlins just had an MVP candidate, or he won the MVP, and then
the Marlins had a fucking fantastic outfield too.
Yeah, but even at that time,
also for the best outfield in baseball.
Stanton just won an MVP, and they inked him long term, and then you just fucking get rid of him. Like, all right,
yep.
This is why nobody comes to your game.
Way.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, really, at the end of the day with Stanton, though, the issue is really just the injuries. When he's on the field, he hits home runs. That's what you're paying him to do.
Yeah, but even at that time, injuries weren't that big a deal, other than the fact that he got hit in the face, and that kind of actually made him a better player.
He's been injured every year of his career except for his MVP.
Yeah.
So
2018, he played every game pretty much.
Plays a big factor into it.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think you'd sign a guy for 13 years as the Marlins, right? Mm-hmm. And then he just wins an MVP, and then just trade him because he was injured a few times before that.
Yeah. No, they signed him with full intent of trading him at some point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
the Marlins way. I mean, look at them in 97, 03. They won World Series and they stripped it all down to nothing.
Yeah.
They got rid of the best players and
they've done that like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah. And
surprised they're not doing that now. They made the playoffs last year.
Nope, gotta win the World Series.
They got nothing to strip down, dude.
They're
they gonna get rid of Aguilar?
Different ownership.
Yeah. Right. Jeter likes
Sixto is going to be legit.
Yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on this trade? I mean, I'm nervous, but I'm optimistically nervous.
Love it. Can't wait. Fully optimistic.
It's exciting.
He's going to fly. Because you also have to remember that him being there helps Pete at first base. It helps whoever's playing third base. It helps whoever's playing second base. It helps batters in the lineup. It helps Conforto. It helps Pete. It helps Dom. It helps whoever, batting around him. It helps him it helps them regardless of if he is if he doesn't play at the full caliber that he has played at, he plays slightly below, it still helps them.
It adds so much protection.
So what's the next move then for the Mets?
He's positive. He's Springer, I guess. I don't know. Because they really don't have a center fielder.
But I saw that I just read a couple days ago that the Blue Jays are well ahead of the Mets for Springer. So
see, I read they were well under his
Yeah, they were well ahead of the Mets, but well under.
See a fit.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I just don't see a fit because they have Grichuk in center, Hernandez in right, and Gurriel in left.
They have a DH.
So who are you gonna DH? Because they're all just as good a fielder as Springer, pretty much, except for maybe Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, that's a DH right there.
I guess you could
Grichuk to right.
You can move Gurriel to third, I guess, because he was an infielder when he came up.
Yeah, and they have a vacancy at third base.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, so maybe that works.
Yeah. They'll figure it. I mean, they wouldn't sign him if there was no spot.
I don't think they should focus on a hitter, though. They need pitching.
Yeah.
They should
Ryu had a great year, but they need to build around that.
Yeah.
I think they were honestly hoping
Walker
for Marcus Stroman to Taijuan Walker sucks, man. He got the injuries.
I know.
He came up, he was dynamite, and he got the injuries. He's done. He's a
he was
5
right.
starter.
Yeah, he was all right last year, though. I wouldn't mind him as a big back end of my rotation. But
Right.
I think
5 starter, maybe even 1 relief. Yeah, I agree.
Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
I think he threw a no-hitter in the against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good fit for him.
Yep.
Cheap,
But so back to the Mets.
What's next for the Mets? They have to get a center fielder somehow.
What about extending Conforto?
Yes, that's a given. That's regardless. That has to happen regardless.
It's the 2 extensions are the biggest thing.
Let me ask you this as Met fans: would you trade off some offense in center field for a good defender? Like, I know JBJ doesn't grade well analytically defensively, but I think it's pretty clear watching him that he's a better fielder than Nimmo out there. Like, would you make that trade-off?
The only reason I wouldn't do that is just because he's a lefty. I think we need a right hand, especially Lindor is a switch hitter, so that does help. But I mean, that doesn't really make a difference, I guess. But we need a right-handed guy in our lineup with Nimmo, Conforto, Dom Smith, McNeil.
McCann's a switch hitter, right?
Make a trade with McCann's a righty.
McCann's a righty, okay.
But
make a trade with the Yankees. Yankees need a lefty.
Yeah, exactly.
Send over Dom Smith.
Yeah, okay. What are you sending us, Jason Dominguez?
I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's not really worth it, but the Yankees need a left-handed bat today. That's why I wanted Lindor so bad, bro. But that's what happens.
You a free agent?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, get strapped on the glove, throw a helmet on.
That's a left-handed bat.
Yeah. Are you a free agent, Hendon? You're a lefty.
Yeah, but I suck. I haven't played baseball.
Lefty too.
I'm a lefty too, but I suck.
Yeah.
I always have my bat ready to go, bro. I'm
I haven't
always
played
ready.
baseball since sophomore year of high school.
Hendon was the number 1 fan though for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Matters.
But yeah. So Lindor to the Mets. Rosario.
Whoa.
What else you got? What else you got?
What do you think the Mets' next move is? You're just asking us. What do you think?
Yeah, what about like Brad Hand or somebody?
This isn't an interview. Yes, Brad Hand. I saw the Mets have very high interest and are nearing something maybe close. I think that's huge.
You need a lefty.
You need a nice lefty in that bullpen.
Yeah, I think Brad Hand would be a nice addition. Aside from the extensions, I think
we're not talking about extensions.
No, I said aside from the extensions.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have to look to the bullpen. Just get one more piece like Brad Hand.
but the bullpen is great on paper. Move
Right.
offensively, or starting pitching. I don't care about the bullpen right now. Where should the Mets go? The starting 8 or the starting 5? Where should they go?
Oh Jesus! You did one of those.
I'm gonna say, listen, you know, with everything, with the Blue Jays being the front runner for Springer, Ozuna's a righty, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you know, left field. Move.
We putting
Keeping
Conforto
Nimmo
in
in
center.
center.
Put Conforto in center. Yeah.
No.
Conforto has to stay right, in my opinion.
See, to me, bro, that's the biggest problem with the Mets is their defense, bro. You got a liability with Smith and left, bro. You can't be having DeGrom out here pitching a gem and a fly ball in the gap and
It's happened the past, what, 6 years?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't want that.
Exactly. And we just traded for the best defensive shortstop in the MLB. Go after a guy that can field in center field.
Bro, look at all the World Series winners the past few years. How good of their defense. You literally lost the World Series in 2015 because of your defense.
Thanks for the reminder, bud.
I'm just saying, dude.
So, are the Mets a top 5 team right now?
Nope.
Yes.
Billy, I know you don't want to admit it. I know you don't want to say it. Are the
All right.
Mets a top 5 team
dude,
right
they're
now?
top 3 right now. On paper, they are.
I was about to get into that. Are they top 3? Are they top?
They are top. They are top 2 right now. I'll say that right now. They are top 2. They are better than the Padres.
And number 1 being the Dodgers.
I'll agree.
Sheesh,
Yeah, obviously.
They got a while.
I'll agree. On paper, they are.
Dodgers are a unit. Dude, they're just getting better too. They make these signings like Trinan and Kane. I mean, Canely won't pitch next year, but
And the guys that they produce out of their system is just
I'm
insane.
saying, dude, Lux is coming up. Like, they still might sign somebody to play third or trade. Like, Mookie and
By the
Bell.
way, guys,
Yeah.
we did our Lindor mock trades literally Sunday.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. He's gone. This Sunday we're gonna be doing Chris Bryant.
Huh.
Let's see how long it takes him to get traded.
Yeah, maybe we're the magic touch.
Yes, sir. So yeah, Chris Bryant is gonna be on Sunday or Monday. We drop the episode Monday. Top 5 second baseman on Monday,
Mhm.
That's easy.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna be
really looking at it.
it's gonna be an interesting year right now as a Mets fan. It's gonna be fun.
Finally, something
Yes,
big
sir.
happened.
Hopefully
Big.
fans will be allowed in the ballpark. That's the biggest thing to me.
There will be eventually. At some point throughout the season, there will be
Yeah, 100%.
over 70% capacity.
Did you see the
Mark
thing
my
that they're pretty
words.
optimistic about
They're
the
optimistic
season
to start
starting on time?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good sign.
That
Believe it
is,
when I see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, me too. But
Yeah, of course.
I mean, last year, bro, they weren't optimistic at all, and look what happened. So
hmm Not only were they not optimistic at all, we got the worst fucking outcome besides not having a season.
yeah, dude, just give me 100 games, bro.
Yeah,
A minimum. Like,
minimum.
at least half a season to
Make
have
it,
some
make
sample
it
size.
worth it.
Yeah, right.
Like 60 games, dude. That's a fucking tournament. Let's be real. Let's call
should've-
it what it is.
It's
you're
a
gonna
summer
have-
season.
Yeah, but if you're
Yeah.
gonna have a full season, dude, even for the first month, all right, they won't allow fans. At least you could have maybe 25%.
Yeah.
You know, for another month, increase up
Mhm.
to 35, 45,
Yep.
maybe get up to
Exactly.
65, 70 by the end of the year.
hmm
Be creative with it, man.
Exactly. So, that seems like it is it. Thank you for listening and watching Take a Pitch. Have a blessed day. Peace.
Yee yee yee.